In a world often filled with compassion and hope, darkness can sometimes lurk in unexpected places. Such was the case with Lucy Letby. She was a nurse at the Countess of Chester Hospital, a nurse whose true nature remained hidden beneath a facade of innocence. As whispered rumors spread through the hospital corridors, collective gasps were heard, and shaken heads were witnessed. No one could fathom the depth of the sinister acts that Lucy Letby would commit. The lives of innocent children were taken, snuffed out. The weight of shock and disbelief settled heavy upon the hearts of all those who once trusted her with their most precious souls. Born on January 4th, 1990, in Hereford, Lucy Letby is the sole child of John and Susan Letby, who are both engaged in professional careers and are now retired. After her schooling and college, Lucy Letby pursued her passion for nursing, graduating as a children's nurse from the University of Chester in 2011. Joining the neonatal unit at the Countess of Chester Hospital shortly after turning 22 in 2012. Lucy Letby embarked on what seemed like an ordinary career in healthcare. Lucy Letby's life was one of apparent normalcy. She moved residences, eventually settling in a cozy suburban home just a short walk away from the hospital. Her living spaces were adorned with simple, childlike decorations, reflecting an unassuming personality. She owned 2 cats, cherished her family connections, and was known for her active social life, including salsa dancing classes and holidaying. On the surface, she was just another young woman navigating life's twists. However, beneath the facade of an ordinary life lay a sinister reality. Lucy Letby's career took a malevolent turn, marked by a surge in infant mortality rates at the neonatal unit where she worked. Her dark deeds began in 2015, a year during which the unit's mortality rate was inexplicably spiked. The manner of her homicides varied, from physical assaults to injecting air into the helpless victims' bloodstreams. Even IV drip bags were tampered with, revealing a chillingly calculated modus operandi. Dr. Stephen Brewery first raised concerns about Lucy Letby in October of 2015, but he said that no action was taken, and she went on to attack 5 more babies, killing 2, which was baby O and baby P. Please note that the attacks at the infants seem to stop after October, when Stephen Brewery raised those concerns. So let's talk about the twins, baby A and baby B. So baby A was a boy who ended up dying, and baby girl B was one of the twins that ended up surviving. Now, on June 8th and 9th of 2015, on a night shift, Lucy Letby is baby A's assigned nurse on that night shift. At 8:30 p.m., baby A crashes. Skin appears molted, and at 8:50, baby A dies. Prosecutors had alleged that the air was injected into the body's umbilical line. At 9 a.m., Lucy Letby does a Facebook search for baby A and B's parents. So on June 9th and 10th of 2015, on the night shift, Lucy Letby is assigned 2 babies in room 3. Baby B, which is the girl, is in room 1 with a different nurse. At 11:30 approximately, baby B is found with CPAP prongs dislodged and an O2 at 75%. Prongs replaced, condition improves. At 12:05 a.m., Lucy Letby consigns feeding record for baby B. At 12:16 a.m., Lucy Letby draws blood gases from baby B. At 12:30, baby B suddenly desats to 50%, skin is molted, resuscitation begins, placed on ventilator. At 12:51 a.m., Lucy Letby draws blood gases. At 1 a.m., Lucy Letby records hourly observation for baby B. At 12:40 a.m., baby B's color almost resolved, deemed stable, physician's notes. Overnight, baby B noted to have distended abdomen. X-ray shows clear lungs. Lucy Letby consigns for baby B's medications. Note that the hospital handover sheet for baby B was later found during the search at Lucy Letby's home. And on June 10, 2015 at 11:30 p.m., Lucy Letby does a Facebook search of baby A and B's parents again. As you can see in the chart in the right-hand corner, that anything that's in red are the homicides of those babies, and anything in blue is the ones that Lucy Letby attempted to commit homicides on. So let's talk about baby C. So baby C was a baby boy who also lost his life at the hands of Lucy Letby. So previous history of necrotizing enterocolitis, a common ailment in premature babies that affects the stomach. So on a night shift on June 13th and 14th of 2015, Lucy Letby is assigned to a baby in another room. Lucy Letby is found at baby C's bedside, told by supervisor to go back to her assigned patient. Overnight, baby C collapses and dies. Physicians note swollen vocal folds during intubation. X-rays show air in the stomach has pneumonia. Prosecutors allege that the air was injected into baby C's stomach. Also, baby D, a baby girl that also dies, collapsed soon after birth and was moved to the NICU on June 21st and 22nd on 2015 of the night shift. Overnight, baby D dies. Prosecutors allege that air was injected into baby D. So let's talk about baby E and baby F, the twin boys. So baby E dies and baby F survives. So on August 3rd and 4th of 2015 on the night shift, Lucy Letby is baby E's assigned nurse. Baby E's mother walks into the room, finds baby E in distress, bleeding from the mouth. Lucy Letby tells the mother that she will call for a physician consult and to leave the room. Lucy Letby writes nursing note for baby E, stating that the mother had asked for a physician consult. Overnight, baby E collapses and dies. Prosecutors allege that the air was injected into baby E. Now, on August 4th and 5th of 2015 on the night shift, Lucy Letby is baby F's assigned nurse. Overnight, Lucy Letby hangs a bag of TPN, total parenteral nutrition, an IV feeding supplement. Baby F collapses. Blood tests show levels of synthetic insulin. Baby F recovers. Prosecutors allege that the insulin was injected into baby F's TPN bag. In the 6 months after killing baby E, Lucy had looked up his mother 9 times and his father once, even searching for their names on Facebook on Christmas Day. Okay, so now we're going to talk about baby G and baby H. Now, baby G was a baby girl that was born premature, and on September 5th and 6th of 2015, which was a night shift, baby G had collapsed 3 times. Lucy Letby fed baby G, and baby G projectile vomited. She was transferred to another hospital where she recovered. Now, prosecutors allege that the air was injected into baby G's nasogastric tube, and she was fed excessive amounts of milk. Now, baby H was one of the charges that there wasn't enough evidence to substantiate whether Lucy Letby was involved or not. So, baby H was a girl and she survived. Case was complicated by poor medical care at birth. So on September 25th of 2015 on a night shift, overnight Lucy Letby is the assigned nurse. Baby H collapses for unknown reasons and is successfully resuscitated. On September 26th and 27th, again 2015 on the night shift, Lucy Letby is not baby H's assigned nurse, but is working on the unit. Baby H collapses and is transferred to another hospital and again recovers. So let's talk about baby girl I. Now, baby girl I sadly dies as well, and on September 29th and the 30th of 2015, on a night shift, Lucy Letby is the assigned nurse. Baby I collapses. The x-ray shows excessive air in the stomach. Now, in early October of 2015, Lucy Letby does Facebook searches for the parents of babies H, E, F, and I. On October 12th and 13th of 2015, again, another night shift, Lucy Letby is not baby I's assigned nurse. Physician finds Lucy Letby at the bedside. Baby I has a very low respiratory rate, no alarm heard. X-ray shows excessive air in the stomach. On October 13th and 14th of 2015, on the night shift, Lucy Letby is assigned nurse. Baby I collapses, successfully resuscitated. X-ray shows excess air in the stomach, transferred to another hospital, and again recovers. So on October 22nd and 23rd of 2015, on the night shift, baby I has been returned to the Countess of Chester NICU. Uncertain exactly when, Lucy Letby is not the baby I's assigned nurse. Alarms sound. Baby I's assigned nurse finds Lucy Letby at the bedside. Lucy Letby tells baby I's assigned nurse to leave. She will sort it out. X-rays show excessive air in the stomach. Baby I dies. Lucy Letby encourages baby I's mom to bathe her as Lucy Letby watches. Now, late October of 2015, Lucy Letby sends sympathy cards to baby I's parents, saves picture of card to her phone. So, baby J survived. But this was one of the other charges that was brought against Lucy Letby for the attempted homicide of baby J, but there was not enough sufficient evidence. So born premature with a necrotic bowel, she has an operation to place an ileostomy, was expected to be discharged from the NICU soon. November 26th and 27th of 2015, a night shift. Lucy Letby is not the baby J's assigned nurse. Lucy Letby was working in a different room. Baby J is in a room for babies with lower needs. At 4:40 a.m., baby J was found to have pale, molted skin. At 5 a.m., baby J was moved to the higher needs room after O2 levels dropped. At 6:56 a.m., baby J has low O2 and signs of a seizure. Lucy Letby and another nurse attend resuscitation with the physician. Now at 7:20 a.m., Lucy Letby infuses glucose. At 10:24 a.m., baby J collapses. Query infection, likely airway obstruction, transferred to another hospital and recovers. December 17th of 2015, Lucy Letby will do a Facebook search for the parents of baby J. So let's talk about the sad case of baby K. Again, there wasn't sufficient evidence to charge Lucy Letby with baby K's death. So at first there was an attempted homicide, and then later baby K ends up dying. So early in 2016, on the night shift, Lucy Letby is not baby K's assigned nurse. Physician finds that Lucy Letby is at baby K's bedside and watching. As O2 levels are low, no alarm is sounding. So the ET tube found to be dislodged. Lucy Letby states baby K had just started deteriorating. At 7:30 a.m., Lucy Letby is at baby K's bedside, yelling for help. ET tube again has been dislodged. Baby K was transferred to a different hospital and dies on February 20th of 2016. So late winter, early spring of 2016, Lucy Letby is moved to day shift due to concerns about the excess number of unexplained deaths and collapses on her night shift. So let's talk about baby L and baby M. So these were two boys that thankfully survived. Now on April 9th of 2016, baby L's condition, which had been good, deteriorates. TPN bag running, found to be hypoglycemic. Testing found abnormally high insulin levels and recovers. Prosecutors allege that the insulin was injected into baby L's TPN bag. On the same morning, baby M collapses at the same time as baby L's episode and then recovers. At 3:30 p.m., IV fluids and antibiotics are administered to baby M. At 3:45, baby M collapses, found with molted skin, recovers suddenly and prolonged resuscitation. Air embolus suspected. Later scans show baby M has brain damage. Prosecutors allege that Lucy Letby caused an air embolus or airway obstruction in baby M. They also allege that insulin poisoning and air embolus is a pattern seen with the other twin boys, baby E and baby F. Now let's talk about baby N. Baby N was a boy who is a survivor as well. So born with mild hemophilia, Lucy Letby texts from this time show that she discussed this case with a friend and stated that her research suggested that the baby had a 50% chance of living. Baby N was later found to have a mild version of the disease, which typically does not cause spontaneous bleeding or death. So on June 3rd, 2016, on a day shift, at approximately 1 a.m., but at this time, Lucy Letby had been moved to the days. So unsure exactly of the timing, but Lucy Letby is not Baby N's assigned nurse. Baby N's nurse goes on a break. Baby N suddenly begins screaming for approximately 30 minutes and the condition deteriorates. Then he recovers quickly. The physician noted that the screaming was not something he had seen before in a neonate. Prosecutors allege that Lucy Letby caused an air embolus or traumatic injury. On June 15th of 2016, at 8 a.m., baby N's O2 levels fall to 48%. Physician notes bleeding and swelling in airway during intubation attempts. Later in the shift, Lucy Letby charts that baby N vomited 1 ml of blood. She does not inform physicians on duty. At 2:56 p.m., baby N collapses again. Physician notes bleeding and swelling in airway during intubation attempts. Baby N is intubated by a specialist team and later recovers. So as we get near our final cases, in this case we're going to talk about the triplets, but we're going to talk about baby O and baby P. So 2 of the 3 triplet boys are both deceased. So on June 23rd of 2016, Lucy Letby is assigned the nurse for the babies O and P, who are initially doing well. At some point in the morning, another nurse suggests that baby O looks unwell and suggests moving him to the higher needs room, but Lucy Letby disagrees. At 2:39 p.m., Lucy Letby enters the unit after her break. So at approximately 2:45 p.m., Lucy Letby is alone with baby O, who collapses and is successfully resuscitated. Later, Lucy Letby records nursing observation that states that she was observing baby O at 2:30 p.m. when swipe card data shows she was not on the unit. Now at 3:49 p.m., Lucy Letby calls for help because baby O has low O2 levels. At 4:15 p.m., Lucy Letby calls for help as baby O collapses again. At 5:47 p.m., baby O dies. At 6 p.m., Lucy Letby feeds baby P. Previous feedings have been signed by Lucy Letby and her student nurse. This feed was signed by Lucy Letby only. Evening, physicians order exam of baby P due to unusual circumstances of baby O's death. At 8 p.m., an x-ray of baby P shows excess air in the stomach. At 8:24 p.m., Lucy Letby records nursing notes for another patient. Later, post-mortem exams show baby O has had significant trauma to his liver. So prosecutors allege that Lucy Letby caused a traumatic injury to baby O's liver and an air embolus. They also allege that Lucy Letby interfered with baby P as she was leaving shift to draw attention away from circumstances of baby O's death. So baby Q is the last case we're going to talk about. Now baby Q was actually supposed to be a twin, but the mother had an ectopic pregnancy and the baby had to be removed when she was 9 weeks pregnant. So this is another case, the last one of the 4, that there was no charges brought against Lucy Letby because there was insufficient evidence to prove differently. So on June 25th of 2016, Lucy Letby is assigned to nurse for baby Q. At 9 a.m., this is the designated feeding time for baby Q. Lucy Letby is in the room with baby Q, and another nurse is present with her back to Lucy Letby. She's caring for another patient. So Lucy Letby makes partial entry into baby Q's medical chart. No milk is noted. Lucy Letby asks the other nurse to watch baby Q while she checks on a baby in another room and then leaves. Soon after 9 a.m., baby Q's heart and respiratory rates increase and his condition deteriorates. He vomits large amounts of air and clear liquid, but was only being given small amounts of milk for feeds. At 11:12 a.m., medical notes show baby Q has stabilized by this time. In the evening, baby Q is transferred to another hospital. So, after the shift, Lucy Letby texts the doctor from the NICU, which I believe is the doctor, of course, that she had the hots for, asking if she should be concerned about the questions she was being asked that day. The hospital handover sheet for this shift for baby Q was later found during a search at Lucy Letby's home. Also, the prosecutors alleged that Lucy Letby injected air and saline into baby P's nasogastric tube, and then the following week, Lucy Letby works her final 3 shifts in the NICU. She is then transferred to clerical duties. Now, between 2016 and 2017, the hospital investigates NICU due to the high death and resuscitation rate. On May 2017, hospital requests that police investigate infant deaths and collapses in the NICU. On June 23rd of 2017, Lucy Letby does a Facebook search for the parents of baby O 1 year to the date of the anniversary of the death. So on July 3rd of 2018, Lucy Letby is arrested, and then she's later released pending further inquiries. June 2019, Lucy Letby is arrested again and later released pending further inquiries. On November 10th, 2020, Lucy Letby was arrested. So, as you can see by the right-hand side list of all the shifts where a baby had an incident or their life was taken, from A to Q, Lucy Letby had worked on each and every one of those shifts. Now, of course, in the smaller diagram there, on the different dates from 2015 and 16, the charges that she was originally charged with was 22 counts, and that listed baby A to Q. But when the jury went out, they could only find that there was enough sufficient evidence for the 7 homicides and the 6 attempted homicides. Now, although this image shows up blurrier in the bigger scale, it's one of those things that you can just Google it and then you can grab it yourself. And then you can look at all the dates, of course, that the other nurses were working. And it's clear to see, of course, that Lucy Letby was in purple, where you can see all the X's on every single one of those shifts, if anyone wants a more specific timeline. So, detectives investigating the SK nurse Lucy Letby say that they were surprised by the amount of material that they found at her home, and that the coded system in her diaries helped the officers uncover the key evidence. She also wrote several diary entries detailing the police investigation into the homicides, and investigators said that they were taken aback by how much Lucy Letby documented about the dead children. When Lucy Letby was arrested for a second time a year later, which is in 2019, detectives hope she had continued to make notes. The amount of material that they found at her home address was a massive surprise to us when she first was arrested, Rob Woods, Cheshire Constabulary Detective Inspector, said in a documentary the force made about the investigation. That it gave us a real good steer for the second occasion as to what sort of things we were looking for, he had added. So, as an example, something that's been very useful to the inquiry has been that Miss Lucy Letby's diaries, and it became clear later that it was almost a code of colored asterisks and various other things put into the diary that marked significant events. The senior doctor working with Lucy Letby warned for months that she had been the only medic present during the sudden collapses and the deaths of the number of premature babies at the hospital in northwest England, which of course is the Countess of Chester Hospital. So, Lucy Letby wrote a confession in which she described herself as a horrible, evil person and said, "I did this. The note was discovered in her diary, meaning the green one, by the police when they raided her home following her arrest. On the green post-it note that was found in 2016 in the diary in her bedroom. Now, other strange and chaotic writings were also recovered from her handbag and the garage. She insisted that the green note was not evidence that she had harmed or committed the homicides to the children, but that she had written it when she was struggling mentally because she thought she could have made mistakes at work and had accidentally hurt the babies. But the jury had dismissed her claims and agreed with the prosecution that it should be read literally. A handwriting expert named Adam Brandt, who analyzed Lucy Letby's notes, had said that her writing style was evidence of a manipulative and dishonest individual. Lucy Letby wrote things like, "I am evil, I did this," and that "I don't deserve to live, and I'll never have any children or marry. I feel very alone and scared. The world is better off without me. I don't deserve mom and dad." So this is one of the more legible, scribbles that Lucy Letby did, but let's take a look at some of the other ones. So Lucy Letby had developed a relationship with who they call Dr. A, and also who she referred to as Sweetie. Now, we'll get into that in a different part of this video about the relationship with Dr. A, but in this note, it said things like, "My best friend, love, I loved you, and I think you knew that. I trusted you with everything. I wanted you to stand by me, but you didn't." So this note had messages like, "Love was all I needed. Help. I want someone to help me. I can't do this anymore. Tigger and Smudge," which were Lucy Letby's cats. "Hate my life. Today is your birthday. We lived our best life. It wasn't enough. And whiskey." Now, some of this scribble is really hard and illegible to understand. Some of it's just pure scribbling, pure circling of the pen. But I'm going to do another video separately where it just has all the notes and decipher it the best I can. So stay tuned for when I do that video. So in this particular note, Lucy would say things on this scribble like, "Love, and now I'm the bad guy. What more could I have done? I think you knew that. My best friend. Please help me," which pretty much seems to be on every scribble, and "engage." And on this note, things like, "No one will ever understand. She doesn't give a toss either way. Going away. Someone help me. Please help me." So I feel like I deciphered this one pretty good, considering Lucy does not have the best handwriting whatsoever. So the gist I got out of this was Monday, can't go to AM, clinical area, plus will be disciplined. Anticipate another 612, not sure what that means. Cars, question mark. Police naming me, obviously no evidence. Plus would have been spoken to, but still upsetting. Supporting me how they can, but can't confirm 100%. I didn't do anything, or anyone else, until it's finished. Mediation says disciplinary, but he said he can't discipline them. It's voluntary. Plus that they will never change, so be prepared, it may never happen. OH lady, prepared tomorrow might make me think of all the things I am missing out on. So the Manchester Crown Court was shown an image of a condolence card that Miss Letby sent to the family of child I ahead of the funeral, which was on November 10th. The card was titled, "Your loved one will be remembered with many smiles." Inside, Miss Letby wrote, "There are no words to make this time any easier. It was a real privilege to care for child I and to get to know you as a family who always put child I first and did everything possible for her. She will always be part of your lives, and we will never forget her. Thinking of you today and always. Lots of love, Lucy." Lucy concluded the note by saying that she would be unable to attend the funeral. So it says, Lucy Letby kept souvenirs from parents, including this card thanking her for looking after us when we were at Chester. The jury was presented with thousands of pieces of evidence, including a note in which she declared her love for the medic, known as Dr. A. Lucy Letby showed little emotion when the talk was of the deceased babies. She did, however, quietly cry when talking about her 2 cats and the home she will now never see again. She cried over that, but it was very striking that as soon as she started to talk about the babies, the tears vanished. Now, this was the case throughout the entire grueling trial, that it was until Dr. A took the stand. The doctor, who she referred to as Sweetie in messages shown to the jury, provided evidence against Lucy Letby behind a screen to protect his identity, as he cannot be named for legal reasons. Reunited with the sound of his voice, Lucy Letby became visibly distressed for the first time during the trial. She tried to leave the dock, claiming to feel unwell, but prosecutor Nick Johnson replied, "No, it's because you didn't like hearing your boyfriend giving evidence, did you?" The SK said her relationship, which she claimed was just a friendship, with Dr. A fizzled out at the start of 2018 before she was arrested in July of the same year. But it was clear that her feelings for the medic lingered. In a note discovered in her home following the arrest, she named him in the note, "My best friend, love. I loved you, and I think you knew that. I trusted you with everything. I wanted you to stand by me, but you didn't." Described by experts as a covert narcissist, Lucy Letby had relied on Dr. A for support during her campaign of terror at the Countess of Chester Hospital from June of 2015 to 2016, turning to him in the aftermath of the deaths. Prosecutor Nick Johnson, KC, suggested that during the trial that her attacks on the 4 infants were deliberate attempts to create crisis situations, knowing that he would come. Mr. Johnson asked Lucy Letby, "Did you want to get his attention? Is that the reason that you sabotaged Child O?" Which, of course, Lucy Letby denied. The following day, Child P had collapsed when Lucy Letby was on duty, and Dr. A again responded to the emergency crash call. Mr. Johnson asked her, "Did you enjoy being in these crisis situations with Dr. A? Did it give you something to talk about and to message about?" Lucy, of course, said, "No, Dr. A and I were just friends." On June 23rd of 2016, Lucy Letby committed the homicide of baby O, and on June 24th, the homicide of baby P. On July 6, 2016, Dr. A told about the details of the hospital meeting over the deaths of Child O and Child P, the 2 triplets who Lucy Letby had taken the lives of just weeks before. The medic messaged her to say, "You need to keep this to yourself. There is absolutely nothing for you to worry about. Please don't. There are going to be some recommendations based on staffing/kit, but there is no criticism of either resus." He then shared an email confirming the deaths will go to an inquest. The following day, he asked Lucy Letby, "I know you won't say anything. This email has to stay between us. Is that okay?" To which, of course, Lucy responded, "Of course, 100%. 1 week later, all staff were sent an email that informed them that they would undergo clinical supervision ahead of an external review into the deaths of the unit. The prosecution had suggested that their relationship went beyond that of colleagues, that after she was removed from the ward, the 2 continued to meet outside of work for coffee and restaurant dates, shopping trips, and a visit to her home where she lived alone. He was described by prosecutors as her boyfriend, but Lucy Letby insisted, "I loved him as a friend. I was not in love with him." The jury had heard that they exchanged messages at work and at home, while her nursing colleagues teased her about her flirting with him. At one stage, the court was presented with a document citing examples of her social life during the periods of the homicides. It saw that she and Dr. A had been to London together for the day, and messages between them showed a series of love heart emojis exchanged as they made plans to meet. But it was during this questioning that she appeared to reveal she had a boyfriend. He was a married man, meaning Dr. A. "It's not a relationship. All it is a friendship," she said, before admitting she did have a boyfriend at this time. It wasn't made clear if this was the same person, as no previous partners were mentioned during the trial. So let's take a look at some of the messages that were shown during the trial. I will read for Lucy, and my husband will read for Dr. A. Had strange message from doctor earlier.
Did you? Saying what? Go commando.
Asking when I was working next week and wants to talk to me about something. Has a favor to ask.
Think he likes you too. Did you not ask what it was?
No, just said when I was working and he said, wants my opinion on something. Do you think he's being odd?
Thought as flirty as you.
Shut up.
What?
I don't flirt with him.
Okay.
Certainly don't fancy him. Haha, just a nice guy. Sat having a quiet moment and want to cry.
Oh, Lucy, poor little thing, and you. Are you okay? Have a cry. You'll feel better for it, I'm sure. You're welcome to take my car home if you're too tired to walk. I'll sort out picking you up in the morning. So sorry you had a rubbish day.
We've lost 2 babies I was caring for, and now this happened today. Makes you think, am I missing something good enough?
Lucy, if anyone knows how hard you've worked over the last 3 days, it's me. If anybody says anything to you about not being good enough or performing adequately, I want you to promise me that you'll give you my details and provide statement. I don't care who it is, and I don't care if I've left the trust. Promise?
Well, I sincerely hope I will never be needing a statement, but thank you, I promise.
You are one of a few nurses across the region. I've worked pretty much everywhere that I would trust with my own children.
Don't know what to say. Thank you.
Self-doubt finished?
I think so. Thank you. Work has been slow, but I have just won 135 pounds on Grand National. Unpacking party sounds good to me, with my flavored vodka. Haha. I just don't know how I'm going to feel seeing parents. Dad was on the floor crying, saying, please don't take our baby away, when I took him to the mortuary. It's just heartbreaking. From a confidence point of view, I need to take an ITU. Baby soon, X. I just keep thinking about Monday, the death of baby A. Feel like I need to be in the nursery, one to overcome it, to get the image out of my head. It probably sounds odd, but that's how I feel.
Well, it's up to you, but don't think it's going to help. It sounds very odd, and I would be complete opposite. Can understand the shift leader. She's trying to look after you all.
Well, that's how I feel. From when I've experienced it at the women's, I needed to go straight back, and I have a sick baby, otherwise the image of the one you lost never goes. Don't expect people to understand, but I know how I feel. Anyway, forget it. I can only talk about it properly with those who knew him. I'll overcome it myself. You get some sleep.
That's a bit mean, isn't it? Don't have to know him to understand we've all been there. Yep, off to bed now.
I don't mean it like that. Just only those who saw him know what image I have in my head. X. Forget it. I'm obviously making more of it than I should. Sleep well. Sorry if I was off. Just wasn't a great start to the shift, but sadly it got worse. I was struggling to accept what happened to baby A. Now we've lost baby C overnight, and it's all a bit too much.
Hope you are going to be okay. This isn't like you. Sending you biggest hugs.
I just keep seeing both of them, baby A and baby C. No one should have to see and do the things we do. It's heartbreaking, but it's not about me. We learn to deal with it. It's not about me or anyone else. It's those poor parents who have to walk away without their baby. There are no words. It's been awful. Not a lot I can do, really. He had a massive hemorrhage. Could have happened to any baby. Wonder if baby H has had an endocrine problem then. Hope they can get to the bottom of it. On way home from Salsa. Feel better now. I've been out. I said goodbye to the parents of baby F. Might go tomorrow. They both cried and hugged me, saying that they will never be able to thank me for the love and care I gave to baby E and for the precious memories I've given them. It's heartbreaking. I just feel sad that they are thanking me when they have lost him and for something that any of us would have done. But it's really nice to know that I got it right for them. That's all I want. That's really nice to hear, as I gather you are aware of some of the not so positive comments that have been made recently regarding my role, which I have found quite upsetting. Our job is a pleasure to do, and just hope I do the best for the babies and their family. So before June 2015, there was about 2 or 3 baby infant deaths a year on the neonatal unit at the Countess of Chester Hospital. But in the summer of 2015, something unusual was happening. In June alone, 3 babies had died within the space of 2 weeks. The deaths were unexpected. So Dr. Stephen Brewery, the lead consultant at the neonatal unit, called a meeting with the unit manager, Arian Powell, and the hospital's director of nursing, Allison Kelly. Now, we tried to be as thorough as possible, Dr. Berry says. A staffing analysis revealed Lucy Letby had been on duty for all 3 of the deaths. I think I can remember saying, "Oh no, it can't be Lucy. Not nice Lucy," he says. So Dr. Ravi Jairam, senior pediatrician at the Countess of Chester Hospital, said he and other doctors warned NHS managers of the concerns about Lucy Letby months before the police were called. Now, doctors were advised to apologize or face a possible referral to the General Medical Council. So Dr. Stephen Brewery was one of those doctors.
Private and confidential. Dear Lucy, the increased mortality on the neonatal unit and subsequent reviews and redesignation of the neonatal unit has been a very stressful time for all staff and parents. We understand that it has been an exceptionally stressful time for you. We would like to apologise for any inappropriate comments that have been made during this difficult period. As you are aware, emotions have run high. We are very sorry for the stress and upset that you have experienced in the last year. Please be reassured that patient safety has been our absolute priority during this difficult time. Yours sincerely, Steve Brewery.
Hi, Stephen. CWP Staff Support Services have a mediator called who has agreed to undertake mediation for the staff in the neonatal unit. She would like to run the mediation sessions as follows. Tuesday, the 7th of March, a.m. only. Meetings with all 3 staff individually. Timings to be agreed with consultants and Lucy's availability. There then needs to be meetings with Lucy and 1 consultant together, and then Lucy and the other consultant for half a day each, i.e. 2 half days. Suggested dates according to availability for those meetings are Tuesday, the 7th of March, a.m. Thursday, the 16th of March, either a.m. or p.m. Friday, the 17th of March, p.m. only. Can you please confirm your availability for these? Dr. Jayaram described how he was forced by managers to endure a mediation session with the SK nurse, who he still regarded as dangerous. He had told ITV News, "I've been a pediatrician since 1992, and I have never in my career seen anything like this." He described how doctors initially felt relief that Lucy Letby was working when the babies began crashing. And initially there was this feeling of, thank goodness, Lucy is on. She's good in a crisis. He described the moment that he realized that Lucy Letby could be harming the babies on the unit as chilling. Describing a meeting with the chief executive of the hospital, the experienced doctor said, "The very first thing that Tony Chambers said to us was, 'I can see how that might be a very convenient explanation of things.' He'd already decided that that wasn't going on and that this was just us trying to cover it up." Tony Chambers stepped down as chief executive of the Countess of Chester Hospital after the police had launched an inquiry into the baby's deaths. Now, Karen Reese was one of the people that Lucy Letby would put in her notes. Now, she was one of Lucy Letby's direct line managers in 2015. Karen retired in 2018, shown in the picture. On August 21st of 2023, Judge Goss read out Lucy's charges. Lucy refused to show up for court to hear the charges and the victims' impact statements against her. The families of the babies whose lives were taken and others that were attempted by the hands of Lucy Letby have told Manchester Crown Court of the horrific impact that the SK has had on their lives. The former nurse will spend the rest of her life in prison with no chance of parole for the homicides of 7 babies and trying to harm 6 others. Their parents gave victim impact statements before she was sentenced. Some of the surviving babies have been left with disabilities, they said. In court, families of the babies sat in the public gallery, some crying quietly. Members of the jury were also visibly upset as they listened to the statements. Lucy Letby refused to attend court to hear the suffering she had caused. The mother of baby A and B. You thought it was your right to play God with our children's lives. Our minds are so traumatized, it won't let us remember the night that you took our child. After losing baby A, we were riddled with fear for his sister, baby B. We are so thankful that we had that fear for her, as it saved her life. There was always a member of our family at her side watching. Little did we know that you were waiting for us to leave so you could attack. You thought you could enter our lives and turn it upside down, but you will never win. We hope you live a very long life and spend every day suffering for what you have done. The mother of baby C. Knowing his killer was watching us was like something out of a horror story. The mother of baby C remembered the overwhelming wave of emotion she felt when she first held baby C, whom she called my tiny feisty boy. He was killed on June 14th of 2015. She wore her firstborn's hand and footprints around her neck after his death. But when Lucy Letby was arrested, she felt so conflicted. The nurse had been one to take those prints. She cried as she spoke to the impact that Lucy Letby had bestowed upon her family. There is no sentence that will ever compare to the excruciating agony that we have suffered at the consequences of your actions. The mother of baby D. I was desperate to feel her, smell her, cuddle her. The mother of baby D held a toy rabbit as she spoke from the witness box. After her daughter was killed on the 22nd of June of 2015, she pushed for answers, but she was initially told it was not a police matter. I missed baby D so much. I was desperate to feel her, smell her, cuddle her. I was desperate to keep her safe. She said she lost a lot of confidence as a woman, as a friend, and as a wife, and said her marriage suffered. It has been hard to keep strong together at times. Since baby D passed away, I lived behind my own shadow. Mother of baby E and F. Our worlds were shattered when we encountered evil, disguised as a caring nurse. Lucy Letby killed baby E on August 4th of 2015. She attempted to kill his brother 24 hours later. The mother of the twin boys said that the family had been living with a life sentence because of Lucy Letby's crimes. She said her surviving son had been left with complex needs after the attack. She is still frightened to leave him alone. When Lucy Letby was first identified as the murder suspect, she and her husband felt cheated, deceived, and utterly heartbroken. She described Lucy Letby's absence from court as just one final act of wickedness from a coward. The father of baby G.
Baby G was left severely disabled by Lucy Letby. The nurse was found guilty of attempting to murder her twice in September 2015. Every day I would sit there and pray. I would pray for God to save her. He did. He saved her. But the devil found her, her father said of the time in hospital. The court heard baby G is now registered blind, has cerebral palsy and progressive scoliosis. Her father said she needs substantial care and that her mother only gets around about 2 hours of sleep a night. We see other families and their children fishing, playing football, other things we can't do. She will never have a sleepover, go to high school, have a boyfriend or get married.
The mother of baby I. A part of us died with her. Baby I was alert, content, and feeding well before she died, her mother had said. The family was planning to bring their daughter home when they were told that she had another collapse on October 23rd of 2015. Lucy Letby was found guilty of the homicide of their daughter. She was our gorgeous little princess, and I can't even begin to explain the pain when we lost her. The mother said her whole body was shaking when she was told someone had been arrested for the homicide. We were both absolutely broken that someone could do something so evil to our precious little girl. She has had therapy and taken medication over the past 6 years to cope with her daughter's death. We have been in some very dark places mentally. After the death of baby I, they had another daughter who was born prematurely with sepsis, but she said she found it incredibly hard to be back on a neonatal unit. She refused to leave her daughter's side until she came home. We struggle with trust. I won't leave my kids in a hospital. We will never give anyone that type of trust with our kids again. I don't think we will ever get over the fact that our daughter was tortured until she had no fight left in her. The father of baby L and M.
The SK attempted to murder the twin boys in early April 2016. The father said the image of his son collapsing was forever etched in his mind. The family was initially told by doctors that the events were normal for premature babies, he said in a statement. Little did we know that a year or so after their birth, the police would come knocking on their door and break news that this could be an attempted murder case. He said he had been prescribed antidepressants, but even though they have helped, they could never take away the feelings I have as a parent. During the trial, he said he had to sit in Lucy Letby's line of view one day, saying the nurse kept looking over at him. That made me feel quite uncomfortable and uneasy, and I had to move in the afternoon, so I was out of her view.
The mother of baby N. We believe baby N had a lasting damage as a result of the injuries he sustained. Lucy Letby attempted to harm and kill the baby boy in June of 2016. The day we were called to the neonatal unit was the worst day of our lives, his mother had said in a statement. She said she always knew her son had been deliberately harmed. I don't know if it's a mother's instinct, but I just knew, she added. We just questioned why a healthy baby boy was fine 1 minute and bleeding from the mouth and needing CPR the next. We both relive this every single day. She said she felt happy and relieved when the police contacted them to say that they were investigating Lucy Letby. We felt like we were being listened to. The family still has a camera in their now 7-year-old's bedroom so they can check on him while he sleeps. We are extremely protective, she said. We wanted him to be homeschooled as we didn't want anyone else looking after him. The parents of baby O and baby P. It has destroyed me as a man and as a father. The parents had triplets, all boys. 2 of the brothers were killed on the 23rd and 24th of June of 2016, respectively. Their parents gave statements via pre-recorded video played in the court. Going through the first with the surviving triplet is very hard, said the mother. I started to blame myself. I thought I'd passed on an illness to all 3 of the boys, an infection. After the death of baby P, Lucy Letby seemed inconsolable, said the mother, who thanked the nurse at the time. She said that she hates the fact that Lucy Letby was the last person to hold her baby boy.
The boy's father spoke about watching baby O deteriorate and die. It was horrific to see. It is an image that I'll never forget, he said. He sobbed throughout his statement and many in court were in tears. He said he had suffered mental breakdowns and struggled with alcohol and self-harming feelings. He is still classed as long-term sick. The anger and the hatred I have towards Lucy Letby will never go away. It will continue to haunt us and will always have an impact on our lives.
Lucy Letby sickened babies by injecting intravenous lines with air into their bloodstream, poisoning some with insulin, and force-feeding others with milk. After harming them and killing them, she sometimes sobbed in grief, made keepsakes for parents, and bathed the little bodies and dressed them for the burial. Lucy Letby will face the rest of her life behind bars after being handed 14 whole life orders, becoming the 4th woman in the UK history to receive such a sentence. Whole life orders are the most severe punishment available in the country's criminal justice system and are reserved for those who commit the most heinous crimes. Lucy Letby will spend the rest of her life watching over her shoulder. She will likely spend years alone behind bars. The prison's Oracle website editor, Mark Leach, an ex-offender who spent 14 years in 62 different jails, told the Daily Star that Lucy Letby's future was bleak. He said, "She'll be what's known as a restricted status prisoner, the female equivalent of Category A. She'll be on self-harm watch, and it will be some time before she gets to mingle with the main prison population, at least 6 months. Her life for much of the next few years is going to be that of a lonely one. She'll associate mostly with prison officers, her key worker, and 1 or 2 cleaners. But much of the interaction will be through the hatch in her cell door. She won't be able to do much other than read newspapers or books and watch TV. She'll get 1 hour of exercise by herself each day. She'll be able to phone her family and receive visits from them, but the police will have to vet them first." Lucy Letby will initially be housed in HMP Bronzefield, the largest women's prison in Europe, and home to some of Britain's most horrific SKs. Leach added that Lucy Letby is unlikely to make friends in prison. He continued, "There will almost be certain be people who will want to get close to her, but for all the wrong reasons. Any relationship she does build is going nowhere, as every other prisoner in there will be released at some point or another. This can be difficult mentally, as it compounds a sense of isolation. She's got to come to terms with the gravity of what she's done, what she did, and the devastation she caused to the lives of others. But she's got the rest of her life to do that. She's going nowhere. She will die behind bars." Yvonne Jukes, professor of criminology at the University of Bath, said that the main focus for the next few years would be Letby's safety in jail. "She may well have a price on her head," she said. "At best, she'll be subjected to extreme bullying and intimidation. At worst, she might be in quite considerable physical danger. At first, she'll get a lot of psychological help and psychiatric treatment. It will be a while before she participates in any group activities, but they will need to find ways to keep her busy. She might do an open university degree or an art therapy course, and she might be given certain small privileges, like access to a computer. The question of whether the prison is even the best place for her, let alone for the rest of her natural life, has got to be asked. According to the Prison Reform Trust, the public believes that sentences are still too lenient despite their lengths increasing over the last 25 years, meaning that Lucy Letby will likely be treated more harshly than someone who committed those crimes a decade ago. So police are investigating the cases of around 30 more babies who had suffered suspicious incidents at the hospital where Lucy Letby worked. It has been previously also reported that the police are examining the medical records of the babies born at Liverpool Women's Hospital, where Lucy Letby also worked. So, Mr. Barclay said that while statutory inquiries take a little bit longer to conclude than non-statutory ones, the move would mean it will have legal powers to force witnesses, including former and current staff at the Countess of Chester Hospital Trust, to give evidence. It will also mean that the evidence must be heard in public unless the inquiry chair, who is yet to be announced, decides otherwise. The news comes after the government announced that criminals will be now forced into the dock to hear their sentence, under new laws to be rolled out after Lucy Letby refused to attend her hearing. Judges will be given the power to order an offender into court, including by force if necessary, the Ministry of Justice had said on Tuesday. Do you feel like this is the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do? We all know that Lucy Letby's world has come crashing down around her, but still, there are many friends and family of Lucy Letby's that believe in her innocence. Leave your comment in the comment section of this video. Please let me know if you feel like Lucy Letby is guilty or innocent. Do you feel like they provided enough evidence to convict her of all those crimes. Will she ever be charged with more crimes? Well, I guess time will tell. I would say that this video took me approximately 100 hours to make, and it was well worth it for the victims and these families. And I really truly hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm going to conclude it with a beautiful song by Mickalene Ibsen, and her link to her song will be in the description of this video. Again, please give this video a like and a share. If you have not subscribed, consider subscribing. And hey, if you want to perhaps do a super thanks, that would be awesome as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and we'll play it out with this beautiful song.
Words can describe the heartache. No words of comfort anyone can say. I've never felt a pain like this before. A piece of my heart died with you, but I guess heaven needed you more. But I can't understand exactly what for. Is this a trial of my faith? A lesson to be learned? Why did my baby come to earth and then so quickly return? I gotta get up off the floor and trust that heaven needed you more. I came home to an empty nursery. Your cries and laughter won't fill this room. This was not the way I planned it. Oh Lord, I'm needing comfort from you. But I guess heaven needed you more. But I can't understand exactly what for. Is this a trial of my faith? A lesson to be learned? Why did my baby come to earth and then so quickly return? I gotta get up off the floor and trust that heaven needed you more. My arms are empty, but you'll remain in my heart. Just remember, Mommy loves you, and we're not really far apart. Yes, heaven needed you more. And I'm starting to understand exactly what for. It's been a trial of my faith. So many lessons have been learned. Yes, my baby came to earth and then so quickly returned. But I'm up off the floor. I know that heaven needs